Part 2 of When You Get Hired as a Caretaker of a Mafia's Daughter. Van sits on the plush carpet of Soyun's playroom, surrounded by her stuffed animals and colorful blocks. The little girl giggles as she tries to build a wobbly tower, her tiny hands working diligently. Soyun pouting when it falls, it keeps breaking. Van laughing softly. That's because you need a strong base here. Let's try again. She gently guides Soyun's hand, steadying the pieces. The little girl's frustration melts into concentration, and when they finally succeed, she claps excitedly. Soyun, we did it. Van smiling warmly. Of course we did. Teamwork, right? Soyun nodding proudly. Teamwork. As Van laughs, she feels a faint prickling at the back of her neck like she is being watched. She turns her head slightly, glancing at the half open doorway. For a brief second, she swears she sees a shadow move, but by the time she blinks, there is nothing. Shrugging off the feeling, she returns her attention to Soyeon, unaware that just down the hall, Jungkook stands with his hands in his pocket, watching from a distance. His face remains unreadable, but his fingers clench slightly at his sides before he walks away. At night, while putting Soyeon to sleep, the little girl sleepily buries her face into her shoulder. Soyeon, mumbling half asleep, "Stay with me tonight, I don't wanna be alone." Van hesitated. She knows Jungkook is particular about things. Would he mind if she stayed in Soyun's room? She glanced at the girl curled to her, sleeping peacefully, and all her doubts vanished after looking at her. She adjusted in Soyun's bed. Van's POV. The ceiling blurs as I stare at it, my thoughts tangling into knots. Sleep won't come, not when my mind keeps circling back to the same question. Why did I take this job? I could tell myself it was just the money. The pay is more than anything I have earned. It's enough to change my life, to stop living paycheck to paycheck, to stop worrying about rent, to finally breathe. But that's not the whole truth, is it? I exhaled, rolling onto my side, curling my fingers into the blanket. The real reason is harder to admit. It's not something I like to think about, let alone say out loud. Because before this job, before this house, before John Jungkook and his unreadable states, there was nothing, no family, no home that ever felt permanent, no one to rely on but myself. I know what it is like to grow up feeling alone. I know what it is like to reach for someone and find no one there. And maybe, just maybe, that's why I didn't walk away when I saw Soon's tiny hand reaching for mine. Because I recognized that look in her eyes, the quiet loneliness, the silent need for someone to stay. Van whispering to herself, I took this job for her. Not for the money, not for the security, but because I know what it's like to be a child who just wants someone to stay. Caressing Sion's cheek, she drifted into sleep. The next afternoon, Van takes Soyun to the backyard garden, where a few of Jungkook's men linger nearby, always on high alert. She kneels beside Soyun, helping her chase butterflies when a voice interrupts. Young is smirking. Didn't think I'll see the day Jungkook let someone this close to his child. Van turns to find Yoongi standing with his arms crossed, observing them. He doesn't look unfriendly, just amused. Van raising an eyebrow. Why? Because he is overprotective. Yoongi chuckling darkly. Something like that. But more than that, he tilts his head, watching her. He doesn't like people touching what's his. Van's breath catches, an uneasy feeling settling in her chest. Before she can respond, a shadow falls over them. Jungkook is suddenly there, standing between her and Yoongi, his expression unreadable but the air around him noticeably heavier. Jungkook flatly to Yoongi, do you have something to do or are you just wasting time? Yoongi raises his hands in surrender, smirking as he steps back. Yoongi, relax, was just making conversations. With that, he walks off, but Wine doesn't miss the amused glance he throws her way. She barely has time to process it before Jungkook turns to her, his eyes dark and unreadable. Jungkook, you shouldn't talk too much with my man. Wine blinking confused. What? Jungkook sharper. They don't need to be familiar with you. Wine frowns, sensing something beneath his words. Possessiveness? No, that can't be. Why would he? Before she can push further, Suyin tugs at her hand, drawing her attention away. Suyin grinning. Look, I found a pretty flower. Why kneels to admire it, but even she does, she feels Jungkook's presence lingering behind her. His words replay in her head, his tone, his stance. It's subtle, but something has shifted. And for the first time, she wonders if she is really just Soyun's caretaker or if, without realizing it, she stepped into something much, much deeper. It's almost late at night when Ryan wakes up to a soft, distant sound, almost like a door closing. Groggy, she sits up, rubbing her eyes. The mansion is silent, save for the occasional creak of the old wooden floors. She checks the baby monitor on her nightstand. Soyeon is fast asleep in her room. Relaxing, Wan swings her legs off the bed and walks towards the hallway for a drink of water. But as soon as she steps outside her room, she freezes. Jungkook stands at the far end of the hall near Soyun's room, his phone pressed to his ears. He is dressed in all black, his face shadowed under the dim light. His tone is slow, clipped, dangerous. Jungkook, quite controlled, furry. I don't care what it takes. If they so much as breathe wrong, eliminate them. Vine swallows, pressing herself against the wall. She knows what he is, what he does, but hearing it so plainly, it's different. He's not the distant, unreadable man she's been dealing with inside the house. Right now, he's something else entirely, something ruthless. For a second, she considered sneaking back into her room, but as she shifts her weight, the floorboard creaks beneath her foot. Jungkook's head snaps up instantly. Jungkook, low warning, step into the light. Ryan hesitates before slowly stepping forward. His eyes are unreadable, but his expression is sharp. Not angry, not surprised, just assessing. Jungkook, you shouldn't be wandering around at night. Ryan, heart pounding, forcing a calm tone. I was just getting water. He watches her for a bit too long before slipping his phone into his pocket and walking towards her. Wine instinctively stiffens as he stops just a foot away. Jungkook, voice quieter now but firm. You heard something? Wine quickly, shaking her head. I didn't hear anything important. His gaze narrows slightly as if he's trying to decide whether to believe her. Then, after what it feels like forever, he exhales, stepping back. Jungkook, you shouldn't be this fearless. The words sent a shiver down to Ryan's spine. Before she can process them, Jungkook turns away, walking down the hall and disappearing into the shadows.